Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about enzymes and your gut and why they're so important, because you aren't just what you eat, you are what you absorb. So eating cultured foods for the last, is it 18 years? Have not only supplied my body with billions and trillions of probiotics, but also a ton of digestive enzymes. And it's one of the many reasons I eat them so often. Having plenty of digestive enzymes is one of the keys to optimal health. So here's how it works. When you put food in your mouth creates saliva, which starts to break down your food. Then the food travels to your stomach, where the stomach acids, and primarily hydrochloric acid, begins to break down the proteins. Most of your digestive enzymes are made by your pancreas. So when you eat something, hormones signal the pancreas to release those pancreatic juices into the small intestine. And pancreatic juices contain several digestive enzymes, as well as a bicarbonate to neutralize the acid from your stomach. So when you eat, your body has to break down the food into micro and macronutrients that can be absorbed and used by your body. So digestive enzymes are small proteins that act on specific molecules within food to break them down. And that is kind of what's going on every single time. Well, it's not kind of, it is what's going on every single time you eat. So the enzymes produced by the pancreas include amylase, and these break down starches and complex carbohydrates. Lipase is another enzyme, and this particular one breaks down fats. And the third one, proteases and peptidases, these types of enzymes break down proteins. So, digestive enzymes are necessary. You have to have them to break down your food you're eating so you can put them into the raw building blocks that fuel your body. And if you're experiencing things like gas and bloating, indigestion, or constipation, all of these can be signs that you're missing or lagging on your enzyme production. So, you aren't just what you eat, you're what you digest and absorb. You can eat all day long, but if you don't digest it and break it down, then you're not getting the nutrients from the food. If your food's not properly digested and absorbed into the small intestine, you can't gain nourishment from that. It leads to malnourishment because not enough of the nutrients are being absorbed by your body. And then the undigested food can cause a lot of problems as it travels down the digestive tract. It can provide food for harmful bacteria, causing that gas and bloating. And then you're into some diseases where you have problem with leaky gut, IBS, SIBO, and because that bad bacteria grows and crowds out the good bacteria. So if your diet isn't optimal, then different types of inflammatory undigested foods that reach the large intestines may have an important impact on your balance of good and bad bacteria in the colon. And this can cause all manner of problems. So it's really interesting because all the healthy food in the world won't do you much good if your body doesn't have the enzymes it needs to break it down into those small nutrients so your body can absorb it. A high amount of stress, damage to the intestinal brush border, or severe inflammatory digestive conditions such as SIBO, leaky gut, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, they can all change your enzyme production. Anything that is going to drive inflammation in the gut is going to cause that brush border to be disturbed. And it can really impact your pancreatic function as well. And that was said by Dr. Tim Gessamar, a Seattle-based naturopathic doctor and digestive health and autoimmune specialist. And he continued to say, this can range from leaky gut to SIBO, which is bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine, to food allergies, and causes so many problems. So having a low enzyme count can cause undigested proteins to pass through the gut and cause more inflammation. And low stomach acid has also been linked to a low enzyme production. And your body naturally produces fewer enzymes as you get older. So that's something else to be concerned about. You want to keep your enzymes at a high level. Now, there's a lot of digestive enzymes in food, and let me go over them. Most of your raw foods have digestive enzymes in them. So that's why it's easier for your body to eat some raw foods, because they can break them. It's got the enzymes in that help break them down. But not only those foods, but kefir, which is, loaded with billions of good bacterias, is also loaded with digestive enzymes. And it has all of the enzymes that you need: proteases, lipase, lactase, all of them, along with billions of probiotics. And the process of fermentation allows the bacteria to digest the natural sugars, which is lactose, in milk, and convert it into organic acids and carbon dioxide. And this creates conditions that help the good bacteria to grow. But that's not all. It adds nutrients, increased vitamins and minerals, and beneficial compounds. And if you're missing the enzyme lactase, you're going to struggle to digest milk. But the good news is kefir is loaded with lactase, and it also eats all the lactose out of the milk. And so if you're lactose intolerant, kefir is great for you because there's no lactose in it. Plus, it gives you the enzymes to digest the milk products and its compounds. Since kefir is considered a pre-digested food, it will digest with ease and help you to digest the other foods that you eat with it. And I can attest to that, because if ever I'm in a place where I'm overly stressed or anything, kefir is always the food that is the easiest for me to digest, and the one that I seem to receive the most nutrients from. And not only is it loaded with probiotics, but it's loaded with enzymes. And so it seems to be one of the easiest things for me to eat because I get so many nutrients from it. Now, another great food is cultured vegetables. Fermented sauerkraut is made with the Bacillus species. And this adds enzymes such as proteases, lipase, and all of the enzymes that you need to digest your food in just a spoonful of fermented sauerkraut or cultured vegetables in general. You're going to have a ton of digestive enzymes, probiotics. You're going to have a lot of increased vitamins. The vitamin C goes through the roof, so does the B vitamins. And you're going to get minerals on top of that to help your gut. And cultured vegetables help to repair the gut lining and keep pathogens at bay, and keep that brush border they talked about earlier in this podcast, keeps it sealed and keeps it from getting leaked into the bloodstream, food particles. And because as your gut starts to leak, you get those food particles into your bloodstream that causes all kinds of problems, from food allergies to gas and bloating. And cultured vegetables are great for that. They help to secure that border. And it's interesting how it works, because the specific bacteria that's in cultured vegetables acts like a pathogen in the gut. So it attracts the other pathogens to it because it thinks it's a pathogen. So they all want to hang out together, and then it steals the nutrients from them, and then they die and exit the body. And it takes about 3 to 5 days for that to happen, but it's kind of interesting how it works. And that way it protects the gut. It keeps the lining intact and keeps those pathogens from trying to destroy the gut lining. And it's a very fascinating bacteria. It's a transient one, doesn't last in the body but 3 to 5 days, but it's a powerful one, a very powerful one that affects not only the gut, but the other thing that it's really effective for is the lungs, the sinuses. They've seen this in a lot of studies where they've done studies in third world countries where the infants get sepsis. And what they found was when they gave them Lactobacillus spinatum, which they had found in kimchi, the baby's sepsis, which is a blood disease, it's very deadly to those newborn babies. It would go away, but it also improved the lung function of the babies, which they didn't expect because it was a distant organ. And so it's a very powerful bacteria, and it is loaded with enzymes. So that's another good one. Now, kombucha, which is a fermented tea, has many beneficial compounds, including enzymes. And if you haven't heard about kombucha, you really need to, because it is everywhere right now. There's so many manufacturers making it, so many people putting it out on the market, because it's a powerful drink that people love it. And it really does help them in so many ways, is why it's being continued to be, made and drank everywhere. So as soon as we see or smell or think about food, our stomach begins secreting hydrochloric acid. So that plays an important role in protein digestion, and it converts those pepsine enzymes into pepsin. And pepsin breaks down proteins into amino acids. So hydrochloric acid also helps with the absorption of carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins like A and E by stimulating the release of pancreatic enzymes and bile into the small intestine. So without adequate stomach acid, food isn't properly broken down and digested. Now, kombucha will help increase your stomach acid production, and that's going to greatly help your body break down and digest your food. And something interesting that I have found with kombucha, sometimes I'll be hungry like before dinner, but I don't want to eat anything because I know we're going out to eat or we're going to have a big dinner. So all I have to do is reach for kombucha, have a 8 to 16 ounces of that. My hunger goes away. I feel nourished. I feel an upliftment. I feel like my adrenals have gotten a boost. And it seems to really help settle my stomach. If my stomach's upset, it's just a wonderful tool to have in your house if you need it. It's my go-to thing. Like, it's kind of like my in-between drink that I love because I always feel better after I've had a bottle of it. And it's one of those things that helps my gut. I think it helps my gut stay repaired because of the powerful probiotic yeast that's in kombucha that is so powerful that kills candida and also helps to restore a lot of functions in the body. And I have many, many articles and many podcasts written about kombucha because it is such a powerful drink. It just does so many wonderful things. And you can check out my other podcasts or my other articles on it because I could go off on this and then I would completely lose my train of thought because I love kombucha so much. Now, another one is water kefir. And this probiotic soda contains many, many digestive enzymes, including lactase, which unlike regular kefir, which is made from cow's milk, sheep, or goat, water kefir is made by combining sugar or juice with water kefir grains. And then the culture eats the sugar out of the tea and creates this fermented drink with probiotics, beneficial bacteria, and it's got so many different compounds in it. And a few ounces with the meal will help you receive not only digestion support because it has so many enzymes, but you're also going to get 15 to 20 different strains of probiotics. And water kefir is popping up everywhere. I'm seeing it served at some restaurants now. We have what do they call it? A farmer's market. I see it at the farmer's market. People have it on tap like they do kombucha. It's very, very popular and it's delicious. And there's all different kinds of flavors. And I encourage you to make this drink or buy this drink because it really does add to your enzyme count and to your gut flora in a really powerful way as well as the other cultured foods. Now, another food I want to talk to you about is miso. Miso is made by fermenting beans. Most typically, it's made out of soybeans, but you can also make it with chickpeas, lentils, and fava beans. And you can buy this at the health food store or in an Asian market. There's so many different types of miso, and they just last months and months. Oh, it lasts a very, very, very long time in your refrigerator. And now, koji is the starter used to ferment and make miso, and you ferment the beans with this. And you can do it with rice, barley, or other grains. And it's quite a process. It takes a long time to do it. It's not hard, but they usually ferment it for 3 months to 3 years, and it produces a very, very enzyme-rich food. I always buy miso because it's a little bit labor-intensive, but you can make it, but it's just as easy to buy it. Now, the starter culture koji that's added to the miso has a variety of digestive enzymes, including lactase, lipase, proteases, all of the ones that you need to help break down carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and it improves your ability to digest and absorb foods. And this process of fermenting soybeans really helps you absorb more nutrients by reducing the thing that's in soybeans, which is something that I want to caution you about. It's an anti-nutrient content. Anti-nutrients are compounds found naturally in foods that hinder the absorption of nutrients by binding to them. And soy is a big one. Soy, I don't eat any soy that is not fermented. The only soy I have is fermented soy because it has enzyme inhibitors. It can have hormonal disruptions. It can mess with your thyroid, which it did with me at one point when I was having unfermented soy. So I quit having it. And when I did, everything went back to normal. So fermented soy like miso, tempeh, tofu, all of those are fermented. And those, get rid of those anti-nutrients, those compounds that can be hard on you. And then it loads it with enzymes and probiotics, and it becomes a whole new food. All of the foods that are cultured, they all become new foods when they're fermented. They get more vitamins and minerals and enzymes, and that's why they're so fantastic. They literally have this metamorphosis into something new that helps you and your body to get more enzymes, more probiotics, and to keep your gut functioning really just like a diverse ecoforest of different strains of bacteria and yeast that are going to flourish and make you healthy. Okay, now there are a lot of foods that contain enzymes as well that aren't fermented. Things like avocados, pineapple is a big one, papaya, ginger, mangoes, bananas, apricots, honey, and especially bee pollen. They are all loaded with enzymes. A diet rich in healthy food with like raw fruits and vegetables can deliver a ton of digestive enzymes for you. And one thing I want to tell you about is, a lot of people, when they're having digestion upset, will reach for antacids. And I have a lot of people contact me when they're already experiencing things like leaky gut, indigestion, gas, bloating, and chronic digestive issues. And they really do need extra support to help rebalance it. And cultured foods are really critical. By adding more, they'll give you more enzymes, they'll give you more probiotics, and they can make a huge difference. But sometimes you need even more help to get over the hurdle. And at the crux of all of this is stress. Stress is one of the main culprits that causes inflammation and depletes you of your enzymes. And foods that are highly processed are going to shift your gut flora as well and destroy those enzymes. But so does taking antacids, which is very, very common. So many people reach for antacids when they overeat and have reflux. And a lot of them are on medication because, it helps them with their gas or their bloating. But here's the deal. These medications can dramatically change the composition of your gut flora. And it's so commonplace that people use these remedies for fast release, but they don't realize these consequences. Dr. Chris Kessler, I love him. He is great. And he explains that taking antacids can put you at risk for serious health conditions. And I'm going to give you his link at the bottom of this page. If you're on YouTube or if you're on my website, I'm going to try to put this link in there so you can read his article because it's so good. And here's what he says can happen if you take too many antacids. You're going to have increased bacterial overgrowth of the wrong kind, impaired nutrient absorption. You're not going to absorb your nutrients as well. Decreased resistance to infections. There's even an increased risk of cancer and other diseases. And I want to put that article down there because he talks about it a lot. And antacids are used so easily nowadays. It really is hard on your body. And I understand why people do them, but that's also a cry for help that things are out of balance. When you have a lot of reflux, which is usually too many refined carbohydrates, too much sugar in the diet, not enough good bacteria, not enough enzymes in the diet, a lot of processed foods, that's going to cause a lot of problems with reflux, sugar being the biggest culprit. And kefir helps greatly with that. That's one thing that a lot of people I work with that have emailed me and told me they got off their prescription medications for reflux when they started drinking kefir. And so I really want to encourage you to reach for enzymes, digestive enzymes, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. There have been several times in my life when I needed extra help with my digestion. When I was pregnant, when I went through menopause, and when we moved cross country. Stress and hormones were the culprits in all of these times, but I had extra help. I had all my cultured foods would help me, grade me, but I also took some digestive enzymes for a short amount of time, and boy, I was glad I did. So important that these were for me because they really helped me get through. I was doing it to myself with all the stress I was under, but having them, taking a few digestive enzymes, and it didn't last very long, maybe a week or two, made such a difference. And I think they're so important to get nutrients into your body to help you absorb things that a lot of people need this extra help. I actually designed my own brand, cutting edge culture brand, and I'm glad I did. And I train everybody to protect your gut. You can all go to the store and get digestive enzymes. You don't have to buy mine. You can get them at any natural health food store. I just want you to get some extra help if you have them. I designed them because I wanted them for me. I love them. They've got like 14 different digestive enzymes in them. They're easy to take, but you can get all different kinds at the health food store or other places, and they're great. And you don't need them all the time. They don't hurt you. I've seen a lot of amazing things. They not only help you to digest your food better and help if you've got gas or bloating or reflux, they help with that. But they also make you feel full. You don't need to eat as much. I've seen people lose weight on them because you feel full, you feel satisfied, you're receiving the nutrients you need for your body. And most people can get enough enzymes in their diet with cultured foods. But if you need extra help, then I would, encourage you to get some digestive enzymes so that you can, speed your way on to your health. And sometimes we need some help from time to time. Now, if you go to the link on this article, I have 8 different recipes and foods with enzymes in them. It's just loaded. I have kefir. I have all these different recipes and articles that you can look at the recipes and find foods that are rich in them and make some recipes that are good for you and help you to feel better, help you to restore your enzymes in your gut. Because when you absorb the nutrients that you need, you feel great. Your body gets what it needs. It speeds you to health. It gives you more energy. It gives you more joy. And I want that for you. So this is just some information about enzymes. Maybe you didn't know about it. Maybe you need some extra help. Maybe you want to get some at the store, or you can buy my brand. It doesn't matter. I just want you to feel better, because when you feel better, guys, you do better. And when you do better, everybody around you gets a boost, because we don't just live in a little bubble. We all live helping one another without realizing it or not. So when you're better, the people around you will get better, because they'll see it and they'll want to know, and you can share it with them. In this day and age when people are struggling with so many health issues, this is a simple way to get more nutrients from your food, because you are, what you absorb, and your body's made from the food you eat. And if you're not absorbing it, and if you're struggling, and if you're getting older and you're not making as many enzymes, then maybe you just need a little bit of extra help. And cultured foods are fantastic for that. And if you're under a lot of stress, maybe you need some extra supplements of enzymes to get you through the hump. And gosh, it makes such a difference. So I hope this will help you. I hope you have a wonderful week. And once again, guys, thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time.